So, Toby, you came into the boardroom.
So we're coming to you.
It doesn't get much bigger than this.
It's pretty big.
It doesn't. We're courtside right now.
Well, I wasn't actually talking about where we are. I was talking about who's on the show. Jayden,
That's true.
Tom,
Yeah.
the boardroom, but also you guys double as professional athlete for Collingwood.
And a bit of a no-hoper. No, I'm
Yeah,
joking. I'm joking.
Well, former athlete, maybe, I don't know.
Former athlete, under 10s footy was probably my
Actually,
prime. It was
Did
probably
we
my
tell you
prime.
about that?
Yeah, I you guys grew up playing footy
I
together.
went
we
to
did.
10 premiership plays, except he played in the game and I actually was in
No,
Tasmania.
I reckon
so
I won it for us. Sorry.
You were the
Yeah,
premiership
it was
player.
pretty good.
Yeah, so he's a real athlete.
So, like, what's the royalty kickback from Collingwood to him?
It's a good question. It probably hasn't been raised yet, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Is there any kickback for us?
No, maybe there's still something coming.
We'll wait for that.
So what I like about you guys is, obviously your head's down focused on being athletes, and obviously you're coming up and doing your thing I guess tech and entrepreneurship.
Yep, for sure.
But you also run a very popular podcast,
That's correct.
which sadly has taken a bit of a dive because I was on the show. But you're on a podcast called The Boardroom.
Correct.
Do you want to just fill in, and by the way, I'll link all the details below, but do you want to just fill everyone in on how that started, where that's come from, where it is right now?
Yep.
So
For sure. So we started it back in late 2017.
Yep.
It was myself, Tom, and another good mate of ours, Josh Dorr.
Yep.
And I kind of came to the boys, I think we were having a coffee one day, and I came to Tom and I was just like, we should do a podcast.
Yep.
And like, you're a professional athlete, going down the footy journey. Josh, our good friend, is kind of really traditional, like was always on to follow journalism.
Yep.
And then it was myself who kind of didn't know what he wanted to do, went to uni, didn't like it, and has figured out his own path.
Yep.
Like, we've been best mates for 18 something years now. I was like, it's a pretty unique conversation and a pretty unique kind of situation. You have three best mates, been mates for a long time, and we all do something completely different. What if we actually had a podcast where we kind of chatted about that?
Yep.
So we did a very first episode out in RMIT, and we called it Humble Beginnings.
Yep.
And it was just the three of us kind of...
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the next one was...
Yeah, so the next one was alright. So it was just the three of us kind of having a chat. This is where we're at, this is what we're thinking. Look, we all do something different, we feel like we can bring something different to a conversation, and that's where our kind of passion for the conversation started.
Yep.
And then next episode, we're very fortunate enough to get Peter Hitchener to come on.
Yep.
And we were asking Peter all the questions we've always wanted to ask someone. In terms of like, what did you do early days? What was it like going through university? What was it like getting your first job?
Yep.
And we just became super like enthralled and curious around, well, here's Peter Hitchener. His job is the news anchor on Channel 9 at 6 o'clock.
Yep.
Like the pinnacle of what people are trying to do in journalism.
Yep.
And here he is kind of sharing his story, sharing his journey, what he did to get it. And just from that point, we're like...
How did you hustle him
onto?
onto your show?
You can probably say that.
Oh, was it through myself, Joshy Dorr?
Yeah, so Josh Dorr did a internship at Channel 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And became pretty friendly with Peter.
Okay.
And Josh was just like, if I just reach out to him, let's just see what he says.
Amazing.
And he was more than happy to, and it was kind of just kick-started from there, really.
So the early days, it was just like not being too scared to try and jump out for some big fish, just to gather some sort of audience straight away, and try and see who are the people that are wanting to listen into. I guess the conversations we have, go quite a bit deeper than just the surface, and they're pretty sophisticated, intellectual. There's a bit of fun, a bit of banter involved, but most of it, and the point that we try and get across to the audience, to the viewers, is of the guests and the industry leader that we have, and the key messages and I guess the angles of perspective these people have that we chat to.
Yep.
It's for the audience to gather maybe one more piece of sort of knowledge, or maybe a different idea that maybe has sparked some sort of a motivation within them to then go, geez, I don't mind what that person was talking about. I might go down route, or trying to see how that sort of field turns out, or the landscape of that sort of career, or that job, and that sort of stuff. So combined with the three of us, and also Mason Cox coming on last year in 2018, it's a combination of us all being mates, being young, being millennials, chatting to young people like ourselves, but also industry leaders that are a little bit older, have a bit more experience.
Sure.
So we try and get that mix and that balance, but mainly, it's highlighting our friendship. Was that was the origins of it, and sort of like how we can all be on our different pathways, but still come back together and have a conversation. But it's also moulded and evolved into really getting to the nitty gritty of the industry leader that we have, the guests that we have. So we keep going back and forth with that, but I think all in all it comes back to the conversation. So there can be three best mates in a room. It can be someone that we've never met, like yourself. I'd never met you before you came in the boardroom, and then we came in and had a great conversation then and there. And
I did a lot of the talking, but I agree. It was definitely a good conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we've just become super interested in that industry leader, the way they think, and kind of bridging that gap between the people that kind of aspire to do that or follow in the footsteps or look to replicate some version of it, and then just share what the experience of that person went through and kind of being real, really.
I love it. I really do, which is why I wanted you on my vlog. It doesn't get as many views as you guys, but what's the big hairy audacious goal here? Is Boardroom a stepping stone to something that the three of you want to do together later on in business?
Yeah.
Is it okay?
To kind of cut you short, it really is. It started off as a real passion thing, and it forever will be. If we don't make a dime from it, we're both pretty comfortable with that. It's not like if we don't make $1 from it, we'll never be successful. I think we've already been kind of successful in what we wanted to achieve with it anyway. What we wanted to do is have a platform where we can create relationships with people. We're starting to do that. So if that's all it is, then we're pretty comfortable and happy with that. Like I've got the job I have now because of it. Okay. So that factor is just like, well, if it does nothing else, it's pretty incredible. But we are super fascinated in this concept of conversation. How can we have go ahead. How can we have kind of real, authentic conversations about all sorts of different topics? The power of the conversation, the one-on-one, the face-to-face, hearing people kind of just discuss things, taking ideas from that. We just personally feel there's so much that can come from conversations.
100%.
So how can we kind of even build, and probably the future goal, aspirational goals, how can we create a media company around conversations?
Amazing.
So with the Boardroom, it's kind of covering the career aspect of conversations, how to be real, truthful, honest, what it's really like to kind of have a job, get a job, keep a job, build a business, whatever it might be, reach the best of marketing, reach the best of journalism, whatever it might be. And then we kind of want to spread that to culture, sport, whatever we can kind of think of.
So I want to participate here. I want to actually get involved. I think the first step is obviously having you on the show, but the second step is we serve several hundred people across our properties on a daily basis, and more to come, right? So I'd love to explore the ideas with you, maybe doing a live boardroom, potentially in front of a live audience at Cubes, so that everything that you're dropping, my members can soak up. And further themselves. And this is off the cuff, like this hasn't been discussed before. So
that's how we do it anyway.
We have two quite substantial event spaces. We have 2 buildings filled with entrepreneurs, small businesses, people that have got their hustle on, that would love to sit in front of Peter, or I know Paul Salmon was on the week before me, or any leader that comes into contact with you. And my position is I just want to help everyone win, right? I want to be the tide that helps all those boats rise. So we should talk about that potentially offline and sort of like maybe circle back to this as a fun thing. But I love it. I genuinely love it. I want to help. I want to be involved in some degree. Leverage what I've got here to help you guys and help the people. I'm all game.
The thing is with the Boardroom as well, that how it has evolved, and in the recent times it's been more so those industry leaders that have sort of got some runs on the board and have gotten up to a successful point of view. But what we try and do, and we'd love to shed light on also, some of the amazing stories that people, the average person may not know about of someone else. It's not necessarily, we try and get different, profile people on, or that, whether they be sportsmen or successful business people, or people that you see their face on TV, or that sometimes you want to interview. Sometimes you want to try and interview those people and be like, yeah, this is going to be good. This is going to gain really good traction. That's great, but that's all good, and that's part of what we want to try and do. But there's a big part of it that it's also getting to know that ordinary people can do extraordinary things. So not necessarily the people that are up in the lights all the time that we all see. It's actually the stories behind.
Yeah.
Some of the people that you think are the most ordinary, or you don't know much, you haven't really heard of them, you don't know much about them, but they might have something unbelievable that could change your life in a way, and it's so empowering. So that's part of it. It's not just standing up the front and listening to some sort of God, or trying to think, oh, they're going to save me. It's also unpacking and shedding light on people that I guess almost have something really special, to give, or to share, or something personally that's really, touched them. But almost like, I guess I think of people at Collingwood. So and you'd think of people here that are probably maybe a bit more shy, a bit more quiet, but there might be something about them that just makes them tick, or they're selfless people.
Yep.
I know. And we haven't had this lady on the podcast yet, but the cook at Collingwood, cooks for over, 100 athletes every week, 4 times a week, gets up at 4 a.m, leaves late, like just selfless people that do these things. The boots started.
They're the real heroes, right?
He's been there. Yeah. He's been there for 20 odd years, cleaning boots every training session, every game, and he doesn't get the. He doesn't get the rewards, and
the
he doesn't get the light. That's right. So it's also shedding light and talking to people that deserve the praise, but potentially don't have as much access to it, or they get sort of missed sometimes. So it's talking to all sorts of different people. It's not just
I'm actually personally for the minorities, right? Like I actually there's more people that need more help,
for sure,
that I'm trying to angle for. Like I talk about trying to elevate myself to a position of real power. Not for me, man. No, for the people.
Yeah.
And so that's what this community is built on, bro.
Yeah.
It would be easy not to do it.
Yeah.
But all the heartaches, all the headaches, all of the construction defects, all of the things that we go through is to help the people win.
Yeah.
So I'm on your wavelength. I'm really super proud that you came on the show. Thanks for taking the time.
Pleasure.
We'll get this up live shortly.
Get onto the boardroom. That's what it is.
I thought he marked his top.
Scribble on it.
It's a good scribble.
I will link both the guys' profiles, whether it be LinkedIn or their player profile.
My player profile's up. I'll share with you.
I do have one question to ask.
Go.
I was actually at I don't follow footy, so you have to excuse my ignorance. I grew up in Sydney. I came to Melbourne, tried to play footy, but I'm not die hard for the ball. But I was at the finals last year. I was at the grand final last year.
You were?
I was. Yeah. Last minute, my father-in-law was a maniac for footy, and unfortunately, he's got 3 daughters. And so he leaned on me to kind of make up for the loss that he's got with them. I don't know if it's a loss, please, I'm sorry. But, how's the headspace from the experience? Forget about win-loss. How's the headspace from experience, and sort of what are you taking into this year's season?
The headspace is really strong and really motivated, I guess, whether it be win or loss. The result can always, could have been different, and on that day could have been a bit more happier. But I think I'm more was more content and I guess really happy with how I guess the whole club went and just the whole journey. So don't worry about whether we got the chocolates at the end of the day. That's life.
I actually I'm not a sadist or anything like that, but I actually find more satisfaction from the harder pills to swallow, like a loss. I love basketball, so like losing a very important game, I take so much more from that than actually winning a championship. Or I'm not talking about me personally, but like I just find that there's so much to gain from it. And I'll be honest with you, like I've had more hard times as an entrepreneur than good. Now I feel very successful sitting here today in my boardroom, but like I don't look at it like that. I look at it like I had 2 people come in off the street today for coffee, and I was like, hey, how did you hear about us? How's the coffee? How's it taste? And I got all this feedback. Fortunately, it was all good feedback, but I was actually fishing for all the bad stuff. How can we become better? How can we like take that hit? Like your coffee sucks, which it doesn't. And how can we learn from that? And so I'm curious to know how you're going to attack this year's season with all of that experience from last year, as hard as it is.
Well, I think the real the angle to look at it is that it's so hard to actually keep up at that. In the sport of AFL, it's so hard to actually make another grand final and then another one after that. So for us, it's not necessarily reinventing the wheel, and that's what we've spoken about a few times. So we're just trying to aim a little bit higher. That's all you got to do, because in the last the few moments in the grand final, the few minutes in the grand final, there's not much that can really be changed. There's a lot that we did right. There's some things that we did averagely, but in the whole scheme of things, throughout the whole year, we just had a really big year, great year, strong year. Team was connected, and I think we've looked pretty good over the pre-season so far. So I think the challenge is just trying to back that up, and because I think it's easier for teams at the top to come off the pace than it is to stay up there at the very best.
For sure.
You can't try and reinvent and change things just because you lose a grand final thinking, okay, this will make us win one. It's usually sticking with a strong foundation of work and what your strategy is, what your game plan is. And when people watch Collingwood, or when people watch your football team, they go, okay, now I know the brand of footy. They've been playing for a few years and I like it. And I get it. It's not like you're sitting in the stands and going, I just don't get what's being coached here.
So the Lakers, who are my team, Pat Riley was a coach in the early 90s, right, of the Lakers, and they got to the championship, they got to the final, they lost. And Pat Riley over the summer didn't rebuild the team. He kept the team in place and just went and had one-on-one conversations with the whole roster and said, I just want you to improve your free throw. Talking to the big guy, I want you to improve your free throw by 10%. I want you to improve your outside shot, hit 4 out of 5 instead of 3 out of 5. Or I want you to hit 3 out of 10 instead of 2 out of 10. Minor tweaks along the season, minor tweaks along the whole team, and they're winning back-to-back championships. I feel like that's where you guys are at. If you're, like, I heard you loud and clear, like we're not trying to reinvent the wheel.
Exactly.
If you can give your team an extra couple of possessions, and the big fella can kick a couple extra goals, that he last year may or may not have made, and turn those things into just minor wins. Come grand final, man, you'll win, and you'll continue to win if you can just maintain the 2%ers, right? So. I'm excited for you. I actually will come to one or two or maybe more of your games.
We'll get you down the road, so.
That'd be great. I'm not angling for tickets. No, I'm not angling for tickets. I'll happily pay the fee. Best of luck.
Thanks,
I hope that maybe in sort of like end of the season we can talk about how awesome it was to win a championship. Or a flag, sorry.
Cool.
And
world champions, baby.
All right, guys. That's it for today. See you soon.